Right now, a quiet war is being lost inside your own mind. Every what if, every imagined scenario, every replay of a past moment, these aren't just thoughts. They are silent thieves, stealing focus, energy, and time from your future. While you're frozen, dissecting every possibility, another person is laying bricks. While you're paralyzed by potential outcomes, they are taking ground. And the distance between you isn't talent or luck. It's this single critical difference. They have trained their mind to execute, while yours has been conditioned to stall. The top performers don't possess more hours. They don't have access to some secret door. They've cultivated a mind that works for them, not against them. They've learned to silence the static, to see the path when others see only fog. And this isn't an innate gift. This is a skill, and it can be built. Overthinking feels like work. It feels diligent, like you're solving a complex puzzle, but it's an illusion. Every minute spent in that loop of analysis is a minute where momentum, real, tangible momentum, is being built by someone else. And momentum is the currency of progress. The first flight wasn't born from endless debate over wing design. It was born from building, testing, crashing, and learning. Action forged clarity, not the other way around. Your mind evolved for a different world, one where constant threat assessment kept you alive. Today, that same machinery keeps you trapped. It shrinks your world. It holds you back from the life you sense is possible. The powerful truth is this: once you understand the mechanism, you can rewire it. This isn't about blind optimism or ignoring reality. It's about installing a mental operating system that lets you see through the noise, to choose with conviction, to move forward even when the path ahead isn't fully illuminated, because uncertainty never leaves. The exceptional simply learn to walk with it. Before we go deeper, if you're ready to reclaim your mental sovereignty, make it known. Hitting that like button supports this channel. Consider subscribing to Stoic Mindset Mastery for more. And if you're committed to this shift, let me know in the comments. Mind under command. First, the true price of overthinking and how elite minds operate. Let's be brutally clear about what overthinking is costing you. It's not just time. It's your very sense of self. Each day spent in that cycle strengthens the neural ruts that make you an overthinker. You are literally becoming someone who cannot act. And that person, that is not who you were built to be. Studies show a majority of adults are chronic overthinkers. But here's the devastating part. That same research indicates overthinkers often make poorer choices than those who decide swiftly. Why? Because overthinking isn't deep thought. It's anxiety masquerading as diligence. The elite understand a fundamental truth: thinking and doing are not separate phases. They feed each other. Consider the mindset of a top-tier leader. They operate on a principle of reversible decisions, acting with only a strong majority of the desired information. They deliberately choose motion over the mirage of total certainty. Your overthinking stems from a poisonous belief. The idea that if you just think harder, longer, more meticulously, you'll uncover a perfect, risk-free solution. But reality doesn't work that way. Perfect answers don't exist. Risk-free paths are an illusion. The only guarantee is this: if you don't move, nothing changes. Here's a framework that separates world-class thinkers from the rest. Average minds see problems. Elite minds see experiments. Faced with a challenge, the average mind asks, "What if this fails?" The elite mind asks, "What will I discover when I try this?" One breeds paralysis, the other generates propulsion. As the philosopher-investor Naval Ravikant has noted, the greatest returns in life come from compound interest. But you cannot compound something you never initiate. Each day of overthinking is a day your compound growth is set to zero. Each week in analysis paralysis is a week someone else is gathering results, lessons, and velocity you lack. Neuroscience backs this. Your brain has two primary modes: a diffuse, exploratory state and a focused, execution state. Overthinkers get trapped in perpetual exploration, circling the airport but never landing. The top performers master the switch. Here's an uncomfortable truth: your overthinking is rarely about intelligence. It's about fear. It's an attempt to shield yourself from failure, judgment, the sting of being wrong. And that's understandable. But what hurts infinitely more? Arriving at life's later chapters and seeing, with painful clarity, that you were capable of so much more, but your own mind held you captive. The elite have made peace with something you may still resist: imperfection. They know the first draft will be messy. The initial plan will require adjustment. Mistakes will happen. Yet they move because they know flawed action trumps flawless inaction every single time. Flawed action yields data, feedback, something to refine. Flawed inaction yields only the empty comfort of staying safe. If you're done with the prison of your own thoughts, let me know below. Thoughts to action. Second, the liberation protocol, your decision engine. You need a system. Right now, you're approaching every choice as a unique mountain to climb, exhausting your willpower before you even begin. The top performers don't waste mental energy on trivial decisions. They have protocols, rules that make routine choices automatic. Let's build yours. The author Tim Ferriss uses a killer question to slice through complexity. What would this look like if it were simple? That single inquiry cuts through self-made complications. Most overthinking involves adding phantom layers of difficulty to something that is, at its core, straightforward. Here is your decision protocol. Write this down. First, define the choice in one clear sentence. If you can't, you don't yet understand what you're really deciding. Second, impose a strict time limit. Minor choices get 5 minutes, medium ones, 1 hour. Major life decisions get 1 full day, no more. Third, identify the actual realistic worst-case outcome, not the catastrophic movie script your mind writes. Fourth, ask if you can live with that worst case. If yes, decide and proceed. If no, adjust the decision to lower the stakes. Bridgewater founder Ray Dalio built an empire on principles, not predictions. He wrote about understanding that you can achieve almost anything you want, but not everything. Notice the wisdom. Decisions aren't about finding a perfect option. They're about choosing what you value most and consciously accepting the trade-off. Overthinkers try to have it all. Clear thinkers choose with intent. A pervasive lie you might tell yourself is that waiting brings clarity. Sometimes it does, but more often clarity emerges from commitment, not endless contemplation. Think of riding a bicycle. You can study balance and physics forever, but until you mount the seat and push off, you don't truly know how to ride. Decision-making works the same. You learn by deciding, not by planning to decide. Let me give you a powerful perspective-shifting tool, the 10-10-10 rule. When stuck, ask, how will I feel about this choice 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, 10 years from now? This framework annihilates overthinking by forcing a long-term view. That agonizing choice? In a decade, you likely won't even recall it. So why treat it as existential now? Your brain loves binary categories, success/failure, right/wrong. But reality is probabilistic. The elite think in likelihoods, not guarantees. They ask, what's probable, not what's certain? This shift changes everything. Thinking in probabilities allows you to act with incomplete data. As former poker champion Annie Duke explains, every decision is a wager on a future you cannot see perfectly. The question isn't, am I sure? It's, given what I know, is this a good bet? Overthinkers wait for certainty. Clear thinkers place intelligent bets and adapt as new information arrives. Remember, Indecision is itself a decision. Each day you delay is a vote for the status quo. If there's a gap between your current reality and your desired one, your hesitation is not a pause. It's a choice that widens that gap. Third, reframing failure and conquering information overload. Your relationship with failure is likely your biggest anchor. You've been conditioned to see failure as the opposite of success. This is a critical error. Failure is not the opposite. It is the essential curriculum on the path to success. It's the teacher, not the enemy. Until this truth lives in your bones, you'll overthink to avoid the unavoidable. Thomas Edison's famous quote about finding thousands of ways that don't work isn't just a motivational poster line. It's a literal description of his process. Each failure was a data point. Each attempt taught him something. Each dead end eliminated options. He wasn't failing, he was learning. That distinction is transformative. The elite have redefined failure. They call it feedback. They call it data. They call it tuition paid for an invaluable education. When something doesn't work, they don't collapse into self-recrimination. They ask, what did this reveal? What will I adjust? What intelligence did I just gain? These questions propel you. Self-doubt freezes you. Now let's address the other force drowning you: information overload. You have access to more data than any human in history, and it's crippling your clarity. Every podcast, book, and guru promises the answer. You consume it all, believing more input equals more insight. It doesn't. More information without implementation equals more confusion. Author Nassim Taleb champions the concept of via negativa, improvement through subtraction, not addition. You don't need more information, you need less. You don't need more options, you need fewer. You don't need complexity, you need ruthless simplicity. The elite guard their mental space like a sacred temple. They know garbage in, garbage out. Try this transformative practice. Go on an information diet. For 1 week, track everything you consume: articles, videos, social scrolls. Then ask, what percentage of this actually helped me make a better decision or take a meaningful step? For most, it's shockingly low. The antidote to overload is application. For every hour you spend consuming, spend 2 hours applying. Read for 30 minutes, then practice for 60. This ratio grounds you in reality. It prevents you from becoming a professional learner who never does. Knowledge without action is merely entertainment in a clever disguise. The elite also understand that failure compounds. Each misstep teaches a lesson that slightly improves your odds next time. Each mistake crosses off an option you don't need to retry. But this only works if you actually step forward and collect the data. Your overthinking is preventing you from gathering the very intelligence you need to succeed. As Cal Newport distinguishes, there is shallow work, reactive, busy, and deep work, focused, impactful. Consuming endless information is shallow work. Taking one idea and implementing it fully is deep work. The elite spend most of their time in the deep. Overthinkers remain in the shallow, wondering why they're not moving. Fourth, mental models and the art of selective focus. Your mind needs reliable maps. Currently, you're navigating complex terrain without a compass, which is why everything feels overwhelming. Mental models are the cognitive maps the elite use to find clarity in chaos. With them, decisions that took days will take minutes. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's legendary partner, built his philosophy on a latticework of mental models. He argues you must have models in your head and hang your experiences upon them. What he means is this: with the right frameworks, you can recognize patterns. You can see what others miss because you have a structure to interpret complexity. Here are 3 models to dismantle most overthinking. First, the Pareto principle, 80-20. 80% of outcomes flow from 20% of actions. Stop treating all factors as equal. Most of what you're ruminating on doesn't matter. Find the vital 20% and pour your focus there. Second, opportunity cost. Every yes is a no to something else. Saying yes to overthinking is saying no to action. Third, inversion. Instead of asking, how do I succeed? Ask, how could I guarantee failure? Then diligently avoid those actions. The elite master selective attention. They don't focus on everything. They ruthlessly eliminate distraction to focus profoundly on what counts. Figures like Steve Jobs wore a uniform daily, not from a lack of style, but from the understanding that every micro decision, however small, drains cognitive fuel. They conserve that fuel for choices that truly matter. Your attention is your most precious resource, more than time or money. Where it goes, your life follows. Yours is likely scattered, which is why you feel scattered. The elite focus like a laser. They select one task, complete it with full presence, then move to the next. This isn't multitasking, it's serial mastery. Psychology identifies decision fatigue. Every choice depletes your mental energy. By evening, your willpower is spent. That's why your decisions weaken as the day wears on. The elite front-load critical decisions when their minds are freshest. They automate or eliminate the trivial. Another transformative model is first principles thinking. Instead of reasoning by analogy, copying others, break things down to foundational truths and rebuild from there. Elon Musk used this to challenge aerospace and automotive industries. He ignored how it's always been done and asked, what do the fundamental physics allow? Your focus needs boundaries, not just around attention, but around goals, projects, and commitments. The elite are masters of no. They decline most things so they can say a full-hearted yes to the few that align. You're likely saying yes to everything and then wondering why progress on anything feels impossible. As Greg McKeown writes in Essentialism, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. Every moment spent on what doesn't matter is a moment your energy is being directed by external forces, not your own purpose. The elite take radical ownership of their focus. They decide what matters and defend that space without apology. Fifth, the unlikely power of constraints and simplicity. You may believe freedom means unlimited options. It's the opposite. True freedom emerges from the right constraints. The elite don't have more freedom. They have better self-imposed limits. They deliberately narrow their field of play to execute with power within it. Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham using only 50 different words. That limitation didn't stifle creativity, it focused it, forcing brilliance within boundaries. The result? A timeless classic. Your overthinking often springs from too much freedom, not too little. Infinite options with no framework for choosing is paralyzing, not empowering. Constraints force clarity. With endless time, you procrastinate. With a deadline, you focus. With unlimited resources, you become wasteful. With limits, you become ingeniously resourceful. The elite create artificial constraints, deadlines, resource limits, even when they don't have to, because they know limitations breed excellence. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allotted. Give yourself a month to decide, and it will take a month. Give yourself a day, and you'll decide in a day. The decision quality is often identical. You've just reclaimed 29 days of mental energy for execution. The elite practice strategic incompleteness. They don't wait for the perfect plan. They define the minimum viable version and begin. Then they iterate and improve. This kills overthinking by replacing "is this perfect?" with "is this good enough to start?" The answer is almost always yes. Leonardo da Vinci called simplicity the ultimate sophistication. We've inverted this. We equate complexity with intelligence. We assume simple solutions must be naive, so we add layers, creating elaborate plans we can never execute. The elite know simple plans get done, complex plans gather dust. Here's a life-changing constraint, the one thing rule. Each day, identify the single task that, if accomplished, would make everything else easier or unnecessary. Do that first. Not the easy thing, the essential thing. This constraint vaporizes decision fatigue because you're not choosing between 50 priorities, you're choosing one. The paradox of choice manifests everywhere. Too many career paths, so you choose none. Too many business ideas, so you start none. The elite succeed because they limit options. They choose one path and commit fully, not forever, but long enough to generate real results. Your morning routine needs constraints. Your work schedule needs constraints. Your decision-making needs constraints. Without them, you drift and react. With them, you create and command your days. That's the difference between living by design and merely existing. Simplicity demands discipline. It's easy to add, it's hard to subtract. Every extra feature in your plan is a potential point of failure. Every option you leave open consumes mental rent. Simplicity means having the courage to say, not this, so you can say this with your entire being. If you're choosing simplicity, declare it below. Simple focus. Sixth, daily mental rituals of the unshakable mind. How you begin your day dictates its entire character. If you start by checking your phone, you're immediately flooding your mind with other people's agendas before you've set your own. The elite guard their mornings ferociously because the first hour sets the tone for the next 15. The concept of the miracle morning rests on one core insight. Your start shapes your finish. Begin reactively, stay reactive. Begin with intention, stay intentional. The elite don't check email or social media first. They create before they consume. Here's a morning ritual to dissolve overthinking. 5 minutes of pure stillness. Sit, breathe, observe thoughts without chasing them. This is mental training, teaching your brain you command attention. 5 minutes of specific gratitude. Write 3 precise things you're grateful for, a specific interaction, a small win. This rewires your brain from lack to abundance. 5 minutes of razor clarity. Write your one priority for the day, the thing that matters most. 15 minutes total, a small investment that changes everything. When you start with intention, you think and act with intention, and overthinking loses its grip. The elite also bookend their day with an evening review. Not self-judgment, but observation. What worked? What didn't? What's the one adjustment for tomorrow? 3 questions, 5 minutes. This gives your subconscious closure, preventing it from churning all night. The 5 a.m. club principle isn't about the magic hour. It's about the magic of quiet space before the world's demands begin. Create space to think, plan, and breathe before the chaos arrives. If you don't control your morning, it controls you. Strategic journaling is non-negotiable, not diary style, but a brain dump. 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing first thing. No filter, no edit. This clears mental clutter, exposes hidden worries, and gets it out of your head and onto paper. Also, schedule a think time block. 30 minutes with no devices, just you and a notebook. It feels unproductive, but it's where insights connect and clarity crystallizes. You can't connect dots when you're constantly busy. The elite batch and automate decisions. They decide once. Wake-up time, breakfast, workout schedule. This isn't a boring life. It's a disciplined mind that conserves willpower for what truly matters. Protect your peak performance hours, typically the first 3 to 4 after waking. This is when your focus and willpower peak. Guard this time for deep work. Everything else fits around it. 7th, the body-mind connection you can't ignore. Your physical state isn't separate from your mental clarity. It's The foundation. Neglecting your body while expecting peak mental performance is like expecting a car to run on empty. Neuroscience confirms exercise boosts BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, essentially fertilizer for your brain. It grows neurons, strengthens connections, and sharpens focus. Critically, it also reduces activity in the brain's default mode network, the circuit responsible for rumination and worry. Exercise literally quiets the overthinking machinery. You don't need to be an athlete. You need consistent movement, 30 minutes daily. Walking counts. The benefits compound. One session improves mood. A month rewires your brain. A year changes your baseline state. Sleep is non-negotiable. Sleep scientist Matthew Walker calls it the most effective brain and body reset. Deprived, your prefrontal cortex, rational thought, weakens, and your amygdala, fear center, amplifies. This guarantees overthinking. 7 to 9 hours. Consistent schedule. Dark, cool room. No screens before bed. These are requirements, not suggestions. Nutrition directly fuels cognition. Your brain, though only 2% of body weight, consumes 20% of your energy. It needs quality fuel. The elite follow simple principles: whole foods, protein, vegetables, healthy fats, minimal sugar, ample water. The mental clarity from proper nutrition is dramatic. Hydration is deceptively critical. Even mild dehydration impairs focus and mood. Your brain is mostly water. Drink consistently. A good baseline is half your body weight in ounces daily. Breathwork is a rapid state shifter. Overthinking triggers shallow breathing, signaling danger to your nervous system, which then produces more stress hormones. A vicious cycle. Break it with box breathing. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Repeat for 2 minutes. This activates your calm-down nervous system. Your environment shapes your thinking. Cluttered space equals cluttered mind. Chaotic surroundings breed chaotic thoughts. The elite design their spaces intentionally: clean, organized, minimal visual noise. This isn't just aesthetics, it's cognitive support. 8th, building your unbreakable support structure. The myth of the solitary hero is a trap. No one reaches the top alone. The elite have teams, mentors, accountability partners, and communities that elevate them. They build systems that make excellence easier and mediocrity harder. You must do the same. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at your inner circle. Are they overthinkers or action takers? Complainers or solution finders? Their patterns become yours. The elite curate their relationships with intention, not malice but purpose. They seek those who challenge them to grow and avoid those who reinforce limitations. You need 3 types of people. Mentors, those who have walked the path you're on. Learn from their work. Peers, fellow travelers at your level for shared struggle and accountability. Mentees, those you can teach. Teaching cements your own learning. Accountability bridges the gap between intention and action. Private goals are easily broken. Public commitment raises the cost of quitting. The elite use coaches, accountability partners, and mastermind groups where progress is visible. Mastermind groups, as Napoleon Hill described, are small, regular meetings to share challenges, gain perspective, and enforce accountability. The power is collective intelligence, multiple minds on your problem. Professional help is optimization, not weakness. The elite have therapists, coaches, advisors, struggling alone with a problem for years when a professional could provide tools in months is not virtuous, it's inefficient. You must also protect your energy from toxic influences. Not everyone deserves access to your mental space. Some people drain, undermine, or relish your setbacks. Create boundaries and distance without drama. A true support system challenges you, not just comforts you. Real friends speak hard truths. Real mentors push past your comfort zone. If everyone just agrees with you, you have an echo chamber, not a support system. The elite understand reciprocity. They contribute value, help others succeed, and show up. When you genuinely aid others, they genuinely want to see you win. That's authentic community. Ninth, measuring progress and mastering the setback. You need metrics, not moods. Relying on feelings is unreliable. They shift with sleep, stress, and random events. The elite trust data. They track what matters, and that tracking propels them forward when motivation fades. As Peter Drucker noted, what gets measured gets managed. Deeper still, what gets measured gets improved. Tracking creates awareness. Awareness enables optimization, and optimization drives progress. Most people track nothing but their fleeting emotions and wonder why they're stuck. Track leading indicators, not just lagging ones. Lagging indicators are outcomes. Weight lost, revenue earned. You can't directly control outcomes. Leading indicators are the behaviors that produce outcomes. Did you exercise? Did you work on your key project? Did you follow your ritual? Track the behaviors. The results will follow. Keep tracking simple. 1 page, 1 minute daily. Checkboxes for key behaviors. Complexity leads to abandonment. Simple tracking delivers stark clarity. You see exactly where you're consistent and where you're slipping. Now, setbacks. They are inevitable. You will have off days, break streaks, and face failures. The pivotal question isn't if, but how you respond. Most people spiral. One bad day becomes a bad week. The elite have a protocol. First, acknowledge it. Don't ignore or sugarcoat it. Look at it directly. Second, extract the lesson. What went awry? What was within your control? What's the one adjustment? Third, release it. You've learned. Now move on. Don't carry the emotional weight. Failure is data, not identity. You are not a failure. You experienced a failed attempt. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset reveals the power of yet. People with a fixed mindset see failure as proof of incapability. Those with a growth mindset see it as not yet mastered. That one word changes everything. Think of an aircraft's black box. After an incident, it's analyzed dispassionately to prevent future issues. Create a mental black box. Analyze setbacks objectively. What happened? Why? How can we improve? This turns failure into fuel. Momentum is a law of physics. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. When you're on a streak, it's easier to continue. When you break it, restarting feels monumental. The rule, never miss twice. 1 miss is human. 2 misses starts a pattern. 3 becomes a habit. Protect your momentum fiercely. Your response to failure is more important than the failure itself. The failure is external circumstance. Your response is internal character, and character dictates your trajectory. 10th, the compounding effect and your new identity. Everything we've discussed compounds, not just in results, but in identity. Every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every thought reinforces a pattern. Every choice, however small, moves you toward one version of yourself or away from another. Right now, you are casting votes. As James Clear articulates in Atomic Habits, each action is a ballot for your future self. Want to be a clear thinker? Cast that vote by practicing clear thinking today. Want to be decisive? Cast that vote by making a decision now. These votes accumulate, they compound, they forge your identity. Identity-based change surpasses outcome-based change. Don't just focus on what you want to achieve. I want to write a book. Focus on who you want to become. I am a writer. The identity drives the behavior. The behavior creates the outcome. Most try to change behavior to get results. The elite change their self-concept, and the right behaviors flow naturally. Your brain seeks consistency. If you adopt the identity of a healthy person, Skipping a workout creates cognitive dissonance, discomfort from misalignment. Your brain will push you to act in line with your identity, to resolve that tension. The compound effect means tiny changes yield enormous results over time. A 1% daily improvement leads to being 37 times better in a year. But it works in reverse too. A 1% daily decline leaves you near zero. Your daily choices are that powerful. Consider who you were 5 years ago. You've changed through thousands of small choices. Now, envision who you want to be in 5 years. That person is being built today with every decision you make. Are you using quality materials? The elite play the long game. They aren't chasing quick fixes. They make small, consistent improvements that compound over decades. Success isn't a sprint or a marathon. It's a lifestyle. It's who you are when no one is watching. Your new identity as a clear thinker, a decisive actor, a member of the top tier is available now, not later. You claim it by acting in accordance with it. You reinforce it by continuing to do so. You become it by being it, repeatedly, until it's simply who you are. Muhammad Ali spoke of hating every minute of training but enduring it to live life as a champion. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret is permanent. You can choose the discomfort of growth now or the anguish of unmet potential later. Everything shifts when you change who you are, not just what you do, because what you do flows from who you are. See yourself as an overthinker and you'll overthink despite any strategy. See yourself as a clear thinker who acts, and the strategies become powerful tools for an identity already in motion. You made it here. That means something. You're serious. You're ready, because most people start but don't finish. Most consume but never apply. You're different now. This isn't theory, it's a blueprint. A map from where you are, stuck in your head, to where you want to be. Clear, decisive, in motion. But knowing isn't enough. You must act. You must start building that new identity. Today, Seneca wrote that life is not short, but we make it so by wasting much of it. Your overthinking has wasted enough time. Your hesitation has cost enough opportunities. Your paralysis has kept you small long enough. That ends now. You have the tools, the knowledge, the framework. The only remaining question is, will you use them? The elite aren't waiting for permission or perfect conditions. They are moving, building, growing. Now you know how to join them, not someday, now. One decision, one action, one day at a time. That's how transformation happens. In consistent steps, you are fully capable of taking. Your mind is your most powerful instrument. Stop letting it work against you. Start training it to work for you. The life you envision exists on the other side of the thoughts you choose to dwell on and the actions you choose to take. Go build it. Here's your immediate action. First, hit like. It helps this message reach others who need it. Second, comment below. What point resonated most? What is your first commitment? Third, share this with someone trapped in their own mental loop. And fourth, subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery. This is just the beginning. We're building a community of those who choose growth over comfort, clarity over chaos. You are not the same person who started this video. The seeds are planted. Now water them daily. Protect them from doubt. Trust that with consistency they will grow into something unshakable. The overthinking ends today. The action begins now. The identity shift is underway. You are moving into the top tier, not because you were chosen, but because you chose to think differently and build your life upon that choice. That's all it takes. That decision, and you just made it.